There's a woman in Cebu right now, ironing a shirt for a man who hasn't even woken up yet, and she's humming while she does it. Western women stopped doing that about 30 years ago. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the 8 things we never stopped doing and why. And I'm warning you now, number 8 is the one that's going to mess with your head because it's not a chore, it's not a habit, it's something in her chest that your culture taught women to be ashamed of. Hi, I'm Marian. I'm a Filipina and I make these videos to tell foreign men the honest truth about women like me, the good parts and the parts that should scare you a little. Today you're getting 8 of them. If you enjoy watching my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video in the future. Thanks. Okay. Come sit down. Coffee's hot and I'm not going to be polite about any of this. Let me set something up first, because I don't want you to misunderstand me. This is not a video about Western women being bad. It isn't. Western women didn't lose anything, they traded it. They traded softness for independence, and honestly, they had good reasons. They got careers, they got their own money, they got the right to walk out of a bad marriage without starving. That's a real trade, and I'm not going to pretend it wasn't worth something. But here's the thing about trades: you give something up, and the things they gave up, we still have. Not because we're better women, because our economy didn't move as fast as theirs. Our families stayed under one roof, and our grandmothers are still alive and still watching. That's it. That's the whole secret. We didn't preserve these things on purpose. We just never got rich enough to throw them away. Now, let me tell you what's still here. Number one, she still cooks for you. And more than that, she watches you eat. Anybody can heat up food. I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about the way a Filipina will make something and then sit across from you and just watch your face while you take the first bite. She's not eating yet. She's waiting. She wants to see it land. Let me paint it for you. It's 7 in the morning in a small house in Iloilo. There's a 52-year-old woman up since 5. She's got fried rice going, she's got fish, she's got a mango. She cut herself because she doesn't trust anybody else to cut it right. Her man comes out, half awake, sits down. She puts the plate in front of him and she stands there with her arms crossed and she says, "Kain ka na, eat." And she does not move until he's chewing. Why does that hit you so hard? Because in your world, food became a transaction. Somebody cooks, somebody does dishes, it's fair, it's split, it's efficient. Here, food is a love language, and it's the loudest one we have. A Filipina who is feeding you is telling you something she'll never say with words, because we're shy with words, but we are never shy with rice. And here's the insider part. Watch what happens when she stops. If a Filipina goes quiet and stops cooking for you, you have a much bigger problem than dinner. That's how we go cold. We don't announce it, we just stop feeding you. Number two, she still says thank you out loud for small things. You paid for lunch, 200 pesos. $4. And she says thank you. And then that night, she says it again over text. And then 2 days later, she mentions it to her sister in front of you. For $4. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, and I'll get to the money thing. Don't worry, I always do. But that reaction is not about the amount. In the Philippines, we're raised to say, thank you for things you did not have to do. That's the rule. Not for what's owed to us, for what wasn't owed. And a man doing small kindness for a woman is in our head never owed. It's always a gift. So it always gets a thank you. Somewhere along the line in the West, basic courtesy between partners got labeled as unnecessary because you're a team. and you don't thank your teammate for doing his job. I understand the logic. But you know what happens to a man who never gets thanked for anything? He gets tired. Not angry, tired. He starts doing things quieter and smaller until he stops. You want to know why a 58-year-old man who hasn't smiled in 10 years lights up in Manila? It's not the beach. Somebody said thank you and meant it. Number three, she still makes you feel like a man, and she does it on purpose. This one's touchy, so let me be very clear. I'm not talking about her pretending you're a genius. Filipinas are not stupid, and a mature Filipina will roast you within an inch of your life in private. I've done it. It's fun. I'm talking about in public, in front of her family, in front of her friends, in front of a waiter. She will make you look tall. She'll let you order. She'll say, ask him, he knows. She will not correct you in front of 10 people over something small. She'll wait until you're in the car, and then she'll destroy you gently with a smile, but not in front of the crowd. Never in front of the crowd. Here's a real scene for you. Family lunch, 12 people, somebody's birthday. The foreign guy makes a small mistake about Philippine history. Everybody notices. Nobody says anything because she gave a little look. Later, walking back to the room, she says, Hoy, next time ask me first, ha? And laughs and pinches his arm. That's it. That's the correction. He learned it, and he didn't lose 1 inch of standing in front of her family. Somewhere in the last 30 years, that stopped being a virtue in the West and started being called shrinking yourself. And I understand why. It got abused. Women covered for men who didn't deserve it. But the version you'll meet here isn't weakness, it's strategy. She's protecting the both of you because in our culture, your reputation and hers are the same object. When you look bad, she looks bad. She's not being small. She's playing a longer game than you are. Number four, she still dresses up for the market. For nothing. For Tuesday. Let me tell you about a woman I know, 46 years old, and she is going to buy tomatoes. Tomatoes. She has put on lipstick. She has changed her shirt. Her hair is done. She smells like something floral. She's got the good slippers on, not the house ones. She is going to be gone 20 minutes. Why? Because in the Philippines, how you leave the house is a statement about your self respect and honestly about your household. She's not doing it for the man selling tomatoes. She's doing it because a woman who goes out looking careless is telling the whole street that something is going wrong at home. And listen, that carries into the relationship in a way that hits men hard. Effort doesn't expire here. A Filipina at 50 is still putting on lipstick before you come home. Not because she's insecure, but because she never got the memo that once you've caught a man, you're allowed to stop. That memo went around in a lot of countries. It never really got here. Now, the warning, because I promised you honesty and not a brochure. Some of that effort is culture, and some of it is competition. Let me be honest with you. If you're a good man, over 50, and you feel invisible back home, the Philippines might just be the best thing that ever happens to you. But only if you do it right. David, 61, from Manchester, England, spent 3 lonely years after his divorce, convinced his best days were behind him. Then he found my Philippines dating playbook. 6 months later, he met Rosa. Warm, genuine, and crazy about him. Last month, they got engaged. David isn't special. He just stopped guessing and finally understood how Filipinas actually think. I'm Marian, and in How to Make Any Filipina Want You, I show you exactly how. The mindset that makes you attractive here, where to meet real women, and how to spot the ones who only want your wallet. Your second chance is waiting. You can find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Check it out. Filipinas are extremely aware of other women. Extremely. If she's dressing beautifully for you, that's love. If she's dressing beautifully and checking your phone, that's fear. Learn the difference because they look identical from the outside. Real quick before I get into the rest, if Marianne is making sense to you so far, do me one small favor and tap that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps me keep making these videos just for you, and it makes sure you never miss the next one. Okay? Come closer because this next part is the one most men get completely wrong. Number 5. She still lets you lead, but only if you're worth following. This is where foreign men get so confused that I want to shake them. You've heard that Filipinas are submissive. Whoever told you that has never met a Filipina mother, a Filipina auntie, or a Filipina running a sari-sari store at 6 in the morning, we are not submissive. We are deferential, and those are two completely different animals. Submissive means she has no opinion. Deferential means she has a very strong opinion and she is choosing for now to let you go first. And she is watching how you do. Here's how it actually plays out. You're deciding where to eat. You ask her, she says, kahit saan, anywhere, up to you. So you pick. Now, if you pick with confidence and she has a nice time, you just went up in her mind. If you dither, you go, no. You choose, no, whatever you want, and you hand it back and forth for 15 minutes, you just went down. Not because she wanted control, because she offered you the wheel and you wouldn't take it. And here's the part nobody warns you about. In a Filipina household, the man is the face and the woman is the neck. He's the head of the family in public. She holds the money, she makes the calendar, she decides which cousin gets helped and which one doesn't. In a lot of Filipino homes, the wife literally holds the salary. He hands it over, she gives him an allowance. That is normal here. So, when I say she lets you lead, I want you to understand what that really means. She's giving you the front seat, the title, and the respect. She's not necessarily giving you the budget. And if you go in believing you've found a woman who will just do as she's told, you're going to wake up one day and realize you've been managed beautifully for 3 years by someone much smarter than you thought. Number 6. She still takes care of her family and she fully expects you to be part of that. I'm going to be blunt now because this one ends more relationships than anything else on this list. In the West, family became optional. You love them, you call it Christmas, and if they're toxic, you cut them off, and everybody supports that. Here, family is not optional. It's not even really a choice. Her parents raised her, her siblings shared one room with her, an auntie paid for a semester of school. That's a debt, and we have a word for it, utang na loob, a debt of the inside. It doesn't get erased ever. So the woman you're falling for is already carrying people. She might be sending money to her mother every month. She might be paying for a nephew's tuition. She might be the reason a whole family eats. And she's been doing it long before you showed up on a salary that would make you sick. Now, here's what I need you to understand, and this is the honest version. This is beautiful and it is dangerous at the same time in the same woman. It's beautiful because a woman who has spent 20 years taking care of people will take care of you like a professional. Nobody will nurse you through a hospital stay like a Filipina. Nobody. And it's dangerous because that same loyalty means there is a queue and you are joining a queue. So ask early, not on the first date. Don't be weird, But early, who do you support? How much? For how long? A good woman will tell you plainly, because she's not ashamed of it. She thinks it's honorable, and it is. The one you should worry about is the one who says nobody, and then 3 months in, there's suddenly an emergency every payday. That's not family loyalty. That's something else, and I've made whole videos about it. Number 7, she still stays when it gets hard. Let me tell you what 30 years of relative comfort does to people. It makes living cheap. When a woman has her own income, her own apartment, her own everything, then walking out of a difficult season costs her almost nothing. So when things get hard, statistically, more people walk. That's not moral failure. That's just what happens when the exit door gets easier to open. Here, the exit door is heavy. Divorce, as of me making this video, is still not generally available in the Philippines. There's annulment, and it's slow and expensive. And I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm telling you what it's like from the inside. Add to that a culture where the family knows everything and the church has opinions. And what you get is a woman who was raised on the idea that you stay. You want to see what that looks like in real life? Go to any provincial hospital at 2 in the morning. There's a woman sleeping in a plastic chair next to a bed. She's been there 4 days. She's eating crackers. Her back is destroyed. Nobody asked her to be there, and nobody could remove her with a truck. And I'll tell you what that means for you personally, since a lot of you watching are in your 50s and 60s, and you've thought about this, even if you don't say it out loud. You are, at some point, going to be sick. You're going to need somebody, and there is a real difference between a woman who sees that as a burden she didn't sign up for, and a woman who sees it as the exact moment she becomes most useful and most necessary. That second woman exists in large numbers here. But I'm not going to let you have that one for free. That same staying power has a shadow side, and you need to hear it. Women who are raised to stay also stay in things they should leave. Some Filipinas endure far too much for far too long. And that's a real problem in our culture, not a selling point. So don't be flattered by her loyalty. Deserve it. A woman who won't leave is not the same as a man who's earned her. Which brings me to number 8. The one I promised you at the start. She still lets herself need you. That's it. That's the whole thing, and it's the one that's going to sit in your chest tonight. Somewhere in the last 30 years, needing a man became embarrassing. It became a thing you apologize for. Women were taught, and I understand why they were taught this, that the strongest version of you is the version that doesn't need anybody. And the whole generation of men grew up being told very clearly, in 100 small ways, that they were optional, nice to have, an accessory, that she'd be completely fine without you, thanks. Why I saved this for last, and here's the part you have to hold on to. That feeling is the most powerful drug in the whole Philippines, and it is exactly where good men lose their judgment. Because I need you is the truth for a lot of women here. And it's also the easiest sentence in the world to fake. So the question is never whether she needs you. Of course she does. And there's nothing dirty about that. We all need somebody. The question is what she needs you for. Does she need your presence, your steadiness, your company, your hand on her back at her father's funeral? Or does she only need what your wallet does on the 15th and the 30th of the month? You'll know. I promise you'll know. Watch what she asks for when you're broke. Watch whether she still cooks when you've got nothing to give her. Watch whether she still says thank you when there's nothing to thank you for. Every single thing on this list is real, and every single one of them can be performed by somebody with a plan. The difference is time. Real ones stay warm when there's no money in it. That's your test, and it costs you nothing but patience. So here's what I want you to walk away with. These 8 things aren't magic, and Filipinas aren't a different species. We're just women who never got rich enough to stop needing each other. That's the whole story. And what you're feeling when you come here isn't a fantasy, it's a memory. It's your grandmother's kitchen. It's a world where people were necessary to each other and nobody was embarrassed about it. You can have that. You just can't buy it. And any woman who lets you think you can before you go, if you're serious about finding real love in the Philippines, I've put everything I know into one honest guide: how to make any Filipina want you. The mindset, where to meet genuine women, the green flags, the red flags, all of it. It's the playbook I wish every good man had before he came here. Grab your ebook in the description or in the pinned comment, and I'll see you there.